Well, in just about 3 days, Nana Akufo-Addo will become president and take charge of the seat of government, the Flagstaff House. Today, President Mahama and his vice, Kwesi Bekwai, Emisa Arthur, and other officials at the Flagstaff House led President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo on a tour of the Flagstaff House. Well, ahead of the tour, the two leaders met for a brief discussion in which both lauded each other for their roles in preserving the democratic credentials of Ghana. President Mahama said the need for Nana Akufo-Addo to familiarize himself with his soon-to-be office has necessitated the move.
Welcome you, President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo, and the Vice President-elect and members of your entourage to the seat of government, Flagstaff House. It's the presidency and everything that comprises it is formally referred to as Government House, but this is the Flagstaff House, and this is where you're going to be working from. And so I thought that in advance of the formal inauguration, we should meet here together and conduct you around so that you familiarize yourself with the establishment and what it all entails. The Chief of Staff and all his technical people are here to walk you through any information that you would wish to know. Government House is made up of several properties, the Flagstaff House and the Villa, which is behind here. We'll get to see it soon. It's got the Vice President's block, and it's got a utility block here that includes a banquet hall and an administration block behind it. And then it's got the old Kwame Nkrumah original Flagstaff House. It's currently in a state of disrepair, but the intention was to, refurbish it and use it for state events or something like that. But aside from that, you have the State House complex, which is currently on the grounds of Parliament, includes the banquet hall. You have the Black Star Square, it's all part of Office of the President. You have the Pedrasi Lodge and several other properties. You have the Flagstaff House annex, which is near the Ghana Maritime Authority, but the Administrator General and the Office of Chief of Staff will furnish you with all those and walk you through what they all stand for. But let me thank you for the cooperation we've had. I believe that with every step that we take in respect of our elections and transition of power, it consolidates further Ghana's democratic credentials, and all of us, both incoming and outgoing administration, can take a pride that Ghana has become synonymous with democracy, not only in Africa, but I guess the whole world. And I believe that the cooperation that we have shown each other in terms of the transition process is one that should continue. I have said before that Ghana's success is all our success, and we need to work to ensure that government is a continuum and that we continue to build on whatever an outgoing government leaves and another government comes and takes over and builds on it. Governments will come and go, but Ghana must continue to progress. Let me warmly welcome you and to express the appreciation of my team and I, for the cooperation that we have enjoyed so far with your side of the transition team.
And so that is part of what went down this morning at the Flagstaff House. Well, on his part, President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo indicated that this was his first day at the Flagstaff House, even though he was part of the discussions prior to the construction of the Flagstaff House, which of course they are referring to as the Jubilee House. Here's what he said.
Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, Mr. Elect, members of the team, first of all, let me thank you for the courtesy of this visit. I know how pressed you are, that you've been able to find time to go through this essentially a formality, but an important formality. I think that what the world has seen, and what we ourselves are actors in, is the continuity of our institutions in Ghana. And that is a matter that should give a great deal of comfort and reassurance, first of all, to our own population of people, that the democratic edifice that they have built continues to be solidified and consolidated. It is extremely important for the future of our country. that those of us who are called upon to play leadership roles in that journey show the spirit that you have shown ever since the result of this election became clear. It is to your credit, and at the appropriate time, the Ghanaian people will honor you for the grace and the dignity with which you've accepted what happened on the 7th of December. And then for the cooperation that, by and large, we have also received from you in this exercise. It's difficult and it's sensitive to how difficult it is to go through the transition exercise that we're all going to. But I believe that the spirit which is animated it is a spirit that is essentially about Ghana and not about parties or about ourselves, but how to make sure that the Ghanaian project stays on course and we continue to govern ourselves as a free people on the basis of free political and democratic institutions. So I've never been here before. This is my very first time. Even though I had quite a lot to do with the whole concept, because the initial discussions with the Indian government, Arnold Sharma at the time was the foreign minister of India. It was the two of us who actually initially proposed the whole concept, and they would help us for our Jubilee year construct this edifice. But I never had the opportunity to come. So I'm looking forward eagerly to see what has come out of that initial initiative that was taken. And I have no doubt that everything is in order. So I'm grateful to you. People came with me. Grateful to you for extending.
That is President-elect Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo there in his response to President John Mahama. Very soon I'm going to bring you a sneak peek into the places that they went to at the Flagstaff House, the areas that they went to at the Flagstaff House. Of course, the Flagstaff House contains offices and residential facilities for both the president and the vice president. So it is, of course, a huge place, but we will see which places they went to in a bit. But let me just remind you, refresh your memory on the appointments that we've had so far. Appointment from President-elect Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ahead of his inauguration on Saturday. Nana Santibedio is going to be his executive secretary. Fremont Selpari is going to be the chief of staff, and she is going to be supported by Francis Asensu and Samuel Abu Jinapo. We've got Director of State Protocol in the person of Ambassador Hassan Ahmed, and then Eugene Ahin as Director of Communication at the Presidency. We've got a head for political initiative, and then we've got someone who the President says is in charge of his diary, Saratu Atta, and then Atia Suleiman, who is a presidential staffer. He's made some appointment to the National Security institution, and we're looking at National Security Advisor, who is Brigadier General Emmanuel Ochre. We've got National Security Coordinator, who is a former director of the BNI, Joshua Chine. And then we've got Minister of National Security, or a ministry that's going to take care of or be in charge, have oversight responsibility of all the security agencies. That is going to be headed by Mr. Kandapa. Now, bear in mind that Mr. Kandapa will need parliamentary approval before he can fit into this role. These appointments are appointments that do not need presidential parliamentary approval, except for the Minister of National Security, or the minister that will be in charge of security and the intelligence agencies, Mr. Kandapa. And so that is the biggest news at this point. We're expecting President Mahama as well, who is standing by at the University of Ghana, Legon, to commission the University of Ghana Medical School to start very soon, and we will go live on the ground to bring you those details. At this point, we'll try and get you an idea of where the places that President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo was taken to on the tour today at the Flagstaff House. Have a look at this.
Yeah, there'll be this security gate there. So once you come there, they open and then you come directly into the No, I've never stayed there. Not even one night. So I don't even know the geography. So I have to show you what it looks like. It was too big. I mean, I just have my wife and the two small kids at home and our house help. And she doesn't like how many bedrooms and sitting areas. Nice, too far. This is the presidential wing. This is the state guest house. Everything on this side is the same.
On the other side.
Okay, so
Let's go.
These facilities are
the campaign. And then Dr.
The meeting before the tour actually started, and this meeting was held in what we call at the Flagstaff House, the ceremonial room. What is called the ceremonial room in the Flagstaff House. But this right there is the one of the entrances at the Flagstaff House. President Mahama with Vice President Mr. Arthur, and of course President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo with his vice. And this is the moment where they left the Flagstaff House.
Yeah, there'll be this security gate there. So once you come there, they open and then you come directly into the No, I've never stayed there. Not even one night. So I don't even know the geography now. Somebody else will
The presidency, or at the Flagstaff House, as President Mahama indicated earlier, there is a block where the president sits. The president has got his office. And then there's a block for the vice president's block. And then there is an administration block. And if you heard the president, he spoke about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's house, which was the original Flagstaff House, in there as well. There is a banquet hall in there. And then there is a Flagstaff House annex as well.
these facilities
This is the president's office, part of the president's office. Of course, this is to show Nana Akufo-Addo around. This is soon to be his office. And it was important that he got to know. Okay. So that's a very nice opportunity for you to get into the Flagstaff House, even if you just did that with your eyes. It's okay, isn't it? Okay, now let's do some medical stories. Now, medical research is expected to receive a massive boost with the construction of the University of Ghana Medical Center. Ahead of the commissioning of the 650-bed facility, interim CEO Professor Aaron Lante Lawson, in an interview with Joy News' Maxwell Agbagba, says he is optimistic through collaborations with other international health centers. The ultra-modern facility will take medical research in the country to a different pedestal. Professor Lawson also talks about the benefits of the medical center located on the campus of the Premier University.
I'll go building by building. We have behind me building 1, which is the central building, which houses emergency services, the theaters. There are 12 theaters in all. 9 are being furnished for this phase, and we can use them for any type of surgeries. We also have laboratories with state-of-the-art equipment. Then we have the air handling units within this building. Now, on the ground floor, we have emergency services at one end of it, and then close to me is the imaging units. And under imaging, we're going to have MRI, a CT scan, a cath lab, which is used for interventional radiology and interventional cardiology. We also have 2 conventional x-rays, mammography equipment, ultrasound equipment, fluoroscopy, for visualizing internal organs. So all these will be put in place. Some of them have already been installed. Others are yet to be installed. The building opposite us is the outpatient building and also administrative block. Okay. We have on the ground floor all the subspecialist units that we're going to have, like orthopedics, gastroenterology, surgery clinics, cardiology. Cardiology features very prominently here. There's a 46-bed cardiology ward. Together with all the accessories, cardiology intensive care units, cardiology step down. And then we have ophthalmology, general internal medicine clinics, general surgery clinics, ENT, we have dermatology. And for the first time in the sub-region, we're going to have a pain management center, which has got its own set of theater plus a recovery ward and a clinic. And then above, it's a 2-story building. The top floor has got the administration of the hospital as well as day surgery unit. Here we're going to have 3 theaters dedicated to minor surgeries and also an 18-bed recovery ward.
So for the average Ghanaian who is not who does not really understand the technicalities of all that you've mentioned, I mean there's scientific you've mentioned, what really will this facility, what benefits would it really bring to them?
This is a high-end hospital. Where the practice of medicine will be at the highest level. For example, if you are referred here, it's a referral hospital also, but there's a walk-in clinic for people who want to come in to see consultants. You are allowed to come in, but what it means is that you would have to pay some extra sum of money to be able to be seen by a consultant. It's for all Ghanaians. It's for Ghanaians as well as people in the sub-region and beyond. We'll cater for the poor as well as the rich. We're also going to have an IVF in vitro fertilization unit to assist couples who cannot produce children. We typically call it test tube baby, in the block. And a medical training and simulation center. Currently in the practice of medicine, or in the training of health professionals, we use mannequins, models, electronic models to simulate various disease conditions. And students come around and they practice on these mannequins, so that when they start attending to patients, they would have gotten the skills and competencies to enable them attend to patients in an excellent way. This is the first of its kind in the country, and it's going to be used as a national facility for training of health professionals. To this end, we are liaising with the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons and the other colleges, professional colleges, as well as Medical and Dental Council, Nurses and Midwives Council, so that practicing health professionals can come here to undertake various courses, for recertification. So it's going to be a national facility.
On the issue of medical education here in Ghana also, one thing that we've noticed over the years is that for some students who do so well in the West African Senior Certificate Examination, some of them get 8 A's, which usually becomes the qualification to enter medical school. Some of them actually get rejected, even with good grades. And the excuse that we've given over the years has to do with the issue of facilities to accommodate them. With the construction of this facility, is that going to be a thing of the past?
Yes and no. Yes, because it's an added facility to the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. People have been talking about us leaving Korle Bu completely. That's not going to be the case. This is an additional facility that will be used by undergraduates and residents, and as well as nurses, pharmacists, and others for training. So it's an added facility. In that way, you are increasing the capacity for training, so many more people will be trained. The Vice Chancellor has already set up a committee, to look at expansion of training, of health professionals within the University of Ghana. You know, so this will be a useful added facility for the training of health professionals. We'll continue to use Kolebu 37, the Regional Hospital, and other health facilities in the training of our health professionals.
But my question is geared more towards people getting access into medical school, because there's been a lot. I mean, it's very challenging getting to the medical school. We've seen instances where people with 7As, 1B get rejected, and the excuse over the years has been the issue of facilities.
Yeah, so this, as I'm saying, is an added facility. So it goes without saying that would definitely have to increase the intake. That's why I'm saying that the Vice Chancellor has already set up a committee to look at how to expand the training of doctors within the University of Ghana. You know, so once the committee presents its report, you know, we'll see how best to factor that in. But even before that, you know, we're going to get students rotate through this place, you know, for their you know, rotations in the clinical disciplines. Yeah.
But generally on the issue of medical research and how we conduct some of these researches, sometimes we spend so much on a research and then we leave it to gather dust on the shelves, in the libraries and all of that. We don't really put the research that we conduct into good use. In terms of medical research, are you satisfied with what we are doing so far as a country?
We're doing something, and here we have research labs which are going to be used. We are liaising with Noguchi so that we define clearly what we want to do, and clinicians would have to come in and carry out. What we want to emphasize is this hospital is modeled on Sheba Medical Center in Israel. In Sheba, they do a lot of research and translate the research into service, into the practice of medicine in the place. So they are always at the cutting edge of service. That is what we want to do. We have a link with them, so we're gradually going to set up research labs and carry out clinical as well as basic research and translate these findings into our practice of medicine in the country. So by that, we're going to increase our research outputs within the country. And then we would also collaborate with other international, it's not only Sheba, we're looking at other international health facilities, to collaborate with us so that we'll be able to do collaborative research here.
Okay, great. Now, finally, after the commissioning of this facility, how is it going to be accessible to the public? Can the public access it? Can they walk in here anytime? Because it's referral, they would have to go to the hospital when they are referred here before they can get access.
Yes, this is a referral hospital, basically. Okay. So much as I'm saying that, someone can walk in and be seen by a consultant. Yeah. You see, that is not going to be the norm. You see, if you come in that way, then you have to pay more to be able to be seen. Normally, if you have a headache, you go to Legon Hospital, you go to a primary hospital, a primary health facility. If they think that you need specialist or consultant service, then they may refer you to this place, or they may refer you to a regional hospital. Then after that, you are referred here. If the situation is very critical, you can be referred here. So it is not a facility that everybody can just come in like you are going to a polyclinic. No. Okay. You have to be referred to come here. But we have made provision for people who want to have, privacy and so on, to come in here. Mind you, we have to maintain this hospital. Yeah. You see, and to maintain this hospital, we need to generate income, to run this hospital. We have presented a financial model to the hospital, to the government, and they're looking positively at it. And we hope that within the next...
Give us a sneak preview into that.
Yeah, we contracted the the business school,
Okay.
to look at analyze some financial projections and
That is Maxwell Agbagba there at the University of Ghana Medical School that is, being commissioned by President John Mahama at the moment. And so we're going live to the grounds just so you have an idea what exactly is happening there. Look at this.
But I'm glad to be with you, ministers and deputy ministers of state, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Odro, former Vice Chancellor, Professor Ernest Aite, with whom we did a lot of work, had a lot of disagreements, but a lot of agreements too, over toll roads and all kinds of things. Chairman and members of the University of Ghana Council, Chairman and members of the University of Ghana Medical Center Board, members of the Project Steering Committee and Project Management Team, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, and thank you for the time spent in joining us here in Legon for this significant ceremony this afternoon. Development is often a painstaking process that takes time to achieve. It is, however, gratifying that at the end of that process, together we harvest the fruits of our collective efforts. The University of Ghana Medical Center project reflects another major milestone by our country in our quest for quality health service delivery and making it available to our people. The completion of the first phase of this project is a dream come true. Today, the University of Ghana, and for that matter, our brothers and sisters within the catchment area of Legon and beyond, and I dare say, even beyond our national borders, will have access to a first-class, ultra-modern, 617-bed medical facility. This facility, even before the second phase is added, is the first of its kind in West Africa, and is second only to a very few hospitals in South Africa. On this occasion, I wish to pay homage to my predecessor, our dear departed President John Evans Atta Mills, under whose administration this project was conceptualized and commenced. The University of Ghana Medical Center has been designed to deliver healthcare at the subspecialist or quaternary level. It therefore hopes to be a referral center from tertiary and regional hospitals within the country so that complicated medical conditions can be attended to in this facility. It also has provision for walk-in patients who are desirous of having specialist consultations or to see consultants. Some of the specialized services to be delivered by the hospital are gastroenterology, trauma and orthopedics, urology, ophthalmology. Ophthalmology, that means specialized eye care. So when you hear the OG, don't become confused. Ear, nose, and throat. Cardiology, that means the heart, everything to do with the heart and the arteries. Dermatology, it refers to the skin, everything to do with the skin. Accident and emergency services. Neurology is the brain, anything to do with the brain. And interventional radiology, that is treatment for cancers and things like that. And then also pain management. So these are some of the major specialized areas the hospital is going to be delivering service in. Initially, our intention was to move the University of Ghana Medical School, the teaching hospital, from Kolebu and move it to this center. Unfortunately, some logistical constraints and other considerations makes this not an immediately feasible prospect. And so, in the meantime, highly specialized training and part of the University of Ghana Medical School training and specialist services will take place in this hospital, but a part of it will remain at Korle Bu. This will create a symbiotic relationship between Korle Bu and this center. If we moved all the specialists and teachers from Korle Bu and brought them here, we will also affect that hospital as a specialist hospital. And that's why the decision has been taken to maintain the two facilities for medical training. And government agreed with Professor Aite and his team and others, and I believe that's what we're going to do. In addition to these specialist services, there's a medical training and simulation center which will operate as a national facility for the training of health professionals. This, I dare say, will make the University of Ghana Medical Center one of the best centers of excellence for medical training on the whole of the African continent. The Simulation Center is equipped with the most modern, up-to-date medical gadgets capable of stimulating various disease conditions to enable our health professionals have a comprehensive hands-on training experience on how to manage such conditions. This inaugural ceremony marks the end of the first phase of the construction of the University of Ghana Medical Center in line with the financing received from Bank Hapoel Alim of Israel. Part of the financing for this hospital has included training of technicians and staff on how to run this hospital and fully utilize the equipment that has been installed. Indeed, this is one of the first medical facilities I've seen where comprehensive training is given to the staff who are going to manage the hospital on how to fully run the hospital and utilize equipment. A good part of this training has been in Israel, working in similar hospitals. The operational phase 2, will involve securing approval in the 2017 budget for salaries of staff, administrative and clinical services, consumables, and utilities such as security, water, electricity, and waste management. And it also includes the additional financing that was mentioned earlier, about $42 million. I am assured, well, we're still finding the money there. Incoming president will have to look for that money. I'm assured that the incoming president, President Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, will pay personal interest and continue the work done here to make this project fully operational in the shortest possible time. Ladies and gentlemen, the second phase of this project is based, actually this whole project is based on an investment and business model with the intention of making the center self-financing within a 5-year period. We believe that by year 5, this hospital should be raising enough revenue to be able to subsist on its own as an independent, autonomous center. But it needs hand-holding in the first 5 years in order that it can stand on its own feet, and that is what government intends to do. The additional facilities and services here include neuro and cardiothoracic surgeries, nephrology, commercial, morgue, psychiatry, rehabilitation, cancer management. It has a medical hotel. There's a hotel in this complex. And so you can live in the hotel and consult your specialist as and when until you are well enough to go back home. And it also has assisted reproductive technology. And so for couples who are looking for childbirth and all that, this would be a center where you probably can come and walk away with your baby. The facility also has a helipad that allows emergency cases to be elevated directly to the center. And so if you are brought on an air ambulance, you can be transferred into a helicopter in you have a very traumatic case and brought directly to the center by helicopter without having to go by ambulance. Phew, 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 phew. I have no doubt in my mind that the impact of this ultramodern facility on healthcare delivery and the training of health professionals in this country is going to be enormous. Our vision has been to localize specialist training, treatment in the areas that I mentioned earlier, and make it unnecessary for Ghanaians to have to go abroad and pay huge sums of foreign currency for such treatment, because they'll be able to get it here locally in Ghana. It is also our expectation that the center will become one for medical tourism, and so that persons with such treatment, instead of having to travel to Europe from other West African countries and other African countries, can instead come here to Ghana, to the University of Ghana Medical Center, and get the same kind of treatment they would have gotten if they had gone to the UK or South Africa or some other such destination. With the first-class working facilities in this center, I'm convinced that the perennial problem of brain drain in Ghana and West Africa will also be minimized. Many doctors will cherish working in a facility like this. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, work has also been completed on the upgrade of the Ridge Hospital into a fully fledged regional hospital to serve the Greater Accra region. And it's my belief that these two hospitals working in sync will ease the pressure that has always been on the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude my address with an expression of appreciation to the new Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Vice Chancellor Professor Ebenezer Odro Owusu, to the University Council for the support that they have given, and also especially to the immediate Vice Chancellor, Professor Ernest Aite, for the support that they have given to bring this project to this point of completion. I also want to thank the University of Ghana for providing the land for the construction of this hospital, and for the personal interest that all these people I mentioned have played in facilitating the realization of this project. It's been mentioned already, and I hope I don't bore you by also heaping praise on my friend and brother, Rojo Metal Nunu. He's been the moving spirit behind this project. And his, I don't know whether to call him his evil twin or his other twin, Professor Lawson. These two people have been the moving spirits behind this project, and probably more than any of us, they deserve the credit and commendation for bringing us to this point. I also wish to thank the contractors, engineering and development consultants limited of Israel, whose representative just went on his first adventure in English language. There are a lot of interesting things he wanted to tell you, but I'm sure a lot of it was lost on you. I'm sure his speech should be made available on the internet so that we can read it and follow exactly what he wanted to tell us. I want to thank them for the good work, this first-class work like any you can find anywhere in the world. I want to thank the various ministers of health, culminating in my friend and brother Alex Segbefia, and also his deputy Victor Bampo, who all worked assiduously to bring us to this point. And so on that note, it is my pleasure and honor as President of the Republic to declare the first phase of the University of Ghana Medical Center duly inaugurated. I wish you all a happy new year, and may God bless us all.
So that is President John Mahama there finishing his speech on that new medical center at the University of Ghana. Let me just give you a recap of what that he's been saying. He basically says that this project reflects a major milestone in our quest as a country, of course, to get quality or to deliver quality healthcare to our people. He says that this is a first-class 617-bed ultra-modern medical facility. And of course, this is the phase 1, and that phase 2 is ongoing. This is supposed to be a referral center for complicated medical conditions, as well as a walk-in for specialized treatment. There is an accident and emergency service block on this in this clinic. And then he says that the initial idea basically was to move the medical school from the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, but that there have been some considerations made, including the impact that moving all the supporting staff and all the health practitioners there at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital would have on healthcare delivery at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital itself. Now, here's a few things that we are being told that is contained or are contained in this facility. We've got a medical simulation center that is supposed to be for training of medical experts. We've got a medical hotel, so he says that you could be in the hotel and still carry on your consultations. He says they've got it's got assisted reproductive technology. So basically, if you've been married for a while and you can't have kids, you're having problems with having children, this offers you a glimmer of hope that you could go, give it a try. And he speaks about having a helipad as well in the system, so that if you don't necessarily need to use the ambulance services, if you've got a complication that requires such services, that is also available. Of course, this project is funded by the Bank of Hapoalim of Israel, and earlier on we saw we didn't see it at the moment, but the Israeli ambassador was there to speak before the president spoke. Staff of the facility have been trained both in Israel and in Ghana, and the training is basically on how to handle the medical equipment that are in this new facility. One interesting thing that the president did mention, by the way, is that there's still a few things that need to be done, and that includes approval of salaries for staff and for consumables, for utilities, waste management, and things need to be approved in the 2017 budget, and he's expecting that the incoming administration led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo would continue in this project. He says that this is basically an investment, a business investment model. It was based on a business model which is expected to make the facility a self-financing facility, and that hopefully in the next 5 years they should be autonomous. So even as he's urging the president-elect to fund, the project and make sure that salaries and all of that are paid, that in the next 5 years, hopefully this should be a facility that provides or that produces the resources, the financial resources that are needed to run it. What else does he talk about? The president also talks about the impact, or he's hopeful that this will bring a major positive impact on the healthcare delivery in Ghana. He's hoping also that we could localize healthcare delivery so that people don't, and we know that especially the politicians would fly out of the country for medical care. So hopefully this facility should help us on our way towards localizing healthcare delivery so that there's treatments right here in the country. He speaks about medical tourism, and I'm not sure what it means exactly, but he talks about the medical center being a place where other people from the sub-region, from outside Ghana, could come to for healthcare services, etc. And basically, he's hopeful that this should minimize the brain drain that has been a canker for us as a country for so many years. That we've got our trained nurses and our trained doctors leave the country to other countries because they've got better work conditions there. Basically, he says that the Ridge Hospital has been completed, and so with Ridge and with the University of Ghana Medical Center, at least the first phase of the University of Ghana Medical Center completed, it should ease pressure on the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. We probably may have to go back to the place to see, because the president is going to be conducted on a tour of the place. I'm talking about the University of Ghana Medical Center, but at the moment we don't have that. But we could go on and tell you about what Mr. Okudzeto has been saying. Mr. Okudzeto is a lawyer, he's a legal practitioner, and he has been saying some interesting things about President John Mahama his relationship with former President Jerry John Rawlings. He thinks that the outgoing president should or may have to apologize to President Rawlings if he has any plans of returning in 2020 for the elections. Before we bring you that, we'll take a very quick break. When we return, look out for that.